Yo, what's going on, guys? And Dwane Casey has been fired. Well, not really fired. He's moving into a front office role similar to Alvin Gentry. And let's talk about it real quickly. So Dwane Casey is done as the coach of the organization, will be moving to the front office. He announced after the team's 103-81 loss to Chicago. The loss finishes the Pistons season with a record of 1765, their second most losses in a season in franchise history. Dwane Casey compiled a 121-263 record with Detroit since their last playoff appearance in 2018-2019, which was Dwane Casey's first with the Pistons. Detroit has had the NBA's worst winning percentage at 26.6%. Prior to Detroit, Dwane Casey won Coach of the Year with the Raptors in 2017 to 2018 and led the Toronto Raptors to 3 straight 50-win seasons. And also, this is a guy who for the past 35 years goes every summer to Japan and is responsible for Japanese basketball growing. So who are the head coaching guys? And let's get right into it. And Dwane Casey, for his career, has gone 494 to 569 in a regular season. And this was a guy who 5 years ago when he came over here, he was trying to make this franchise be a playoff mainstay, but he led them to the postseason. And it was clear after that postseason that Blake Griffin's all-NBA days were behind him, so they went into a rebuild. So let's talk about all the coaches. We've heard Charles Lee, Ime Udoka, all right. Charles Lee, Ime Udoka, Chris Quinn, Adrian Griffin, and I want to make sure that I'm not messing anybody else on this list because I think that's who we have. Yeah, Charles Lee, Adrian Griffin, Ime Udoka, and Adrian Griffin. I think I've said everybody. And over here, James L. Edwards III of The Athletic has added a few other people to that list. And that is Kevin Ollie, Jerry Stackhouse, Sean Sweeney, Jay Wright. Yeah, Chris Quinn, Ime Udoka, Charles Lee, and Adrian Griffin are the ones that we know for a fact. So let's talk about it all. Jerry Stackhouse. Well, Charles Lee, let's talk about, is the lead assistant offensive guy, also coaching some defense now for the Bucks. He's one of the youngest guys under 40, coaching, really good young coach. Adrian Griffin, the father of AJ Griffin. He's been a former player, played every single role in the NBA. Really good coaching candidate, in my opinion, right there. Now, those are the two. Chris Quinn, former NBA point guard, been with the Heat. I know a little less about him, about everybody else. And then, of course, Ime Udoka. Let's get right into it. Jerry Stackhouse. He's a guy who's been in local headlines. He's more than just a former Pistons star. He's a rising coach. I have a video out here saying that he's a dark horse candidate for being one of the best coaches. He was the guy who built the Raptors mob squad, the Raptors 905 team that won a championship in 2017 and was named the G League Coach of the Year. And since becoming the head coach at Vanderbilt in 2019, he's led the Commodores to 22 wins, most wins since 2011 to 12, and was named SEC Coach of the Year. And this hire would be both a PR and potentially an on-court victory for the Pistons. The name on the list that's been everywhere, Ime Udoka. Ime, 45 years old, led the Boston Celtics last year to an NBA Finals appearance. After starting the season 18-21, they finished with a 51-31 record, lost in 6 games in the finals to the Golden State Warriors. Udoka was suspended at the end of the season during the offseason for violating rules for having an intimate relationship with multiple female staffers. He was replaced by Joe Mazzulla. Udoka comes from the Greg Popovich coaching tree and was highly regarded as a future head coach prior to landing his job in Boston. He's still highly rated for his coaching acumen and is probably the biggest name available on the market unless Nick Nurse becomes available. Then Kevin Ollie. I'm a huge Kevin Ollie fan, and this is a guy who was an NBA journeyman who's been out of the spotlight since being ousted from UConn, and he won a national championship in 2014. He's only 50 years old. He's the head of coaching and director of player development at Overtime Elite, and Overtime Elite recently formed, a league that's for 16 to 20-year-olds. And during his playing days, he was considered a mentor to the likes of LeBron James, Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. He played in the NBA for 13 years and before transitioning to coaching. And he was an assistant at UConn from 2010 to 2012 till he was picked as the replacement for the legendary coach Jim Calhoun. Then there's Sean Sweeney. He's the assistant to Jason Kidd, and he was an assistant in the Pistons under Casey from 2018 to 2021. He's considered one of the best defensive-minded assistants in the league. He's known for his work with Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's been credited, who Sweeney was credited as helping develop him, as well as Luka Doncic and Blake Griffin. And he interviewed last year for the Nets, Bucks, Pistons, and Mavericks. And then supposedly Jay Wright's trying to make the jump to the NBA, and he's been applauded for how he prepares NBA players. And I just think this would be going out. But shortly after retiring 22, Wright did not rule out a potential jump to the league. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. Who do you think should be the guy and why? And yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.